to do that again.
Hey guys, that first bathroom, I don't know who it was or how many people did it, but the whole soap dispenser's like on the floor. Freaking paper towel got thrown in the water. There's shit everywhere again.
I told you, you can clean the bathroom, but you got some
don't care. You know, there's no offense.
Hey, whoever did it, the mama's a hoe.
Hey, that's not nice.
Grown ass men, bro. Okay, guys.
Go sit outside and listen, brother.
You know they're never gonna accept that, Bobby. They're never gonna accept what they did.
This is the teacher's sign. Sorry.
I got a feeling to keep them. That's the sign.
Never had a bathroom. Right now, so
We are all adults. My voice is not loud, and I'm not gonna be screaming, so please. Leave a pass for yourself to change the rest of it, so it doesn't become a problem. Okay?
we've been having this problem for the longest.
With that being said, we left off at boundaries for alcohol and drugs. Who wants to read?
I'll read it. All right, boundaries for alcohol and drugs. Setting limits on just how much alcohol consumption is acceptable to each person in the relationship is tricky, and attempting to control what and how much can be assumed can lead to struggle. In the case where the person with an alcohol or drug addiction may not feel or admit that they have a problem, requesting limits can feel both futile and frustrating. The person with an addiction may be unable and unwilling to communicate in a meaningful way because they are under the influence. Where drinking and drug use are concerned, you must decide what kinds of behavior are acceptable in your home. Then you must clearly communicate your expectations.
Okay, so setting boundaries. When you're an addict,
No boundaries.
there's no
There's
boundaries,
no boundaries. Disrespecting everybody, and I can't just want to get high.
right? So, say a family member is telling you to stop, what are you gonna
Don't tell me what to do. Let me live my life.
do? Become combative. So who has experienced that? Who else? No one else? Someone is saying you had enough to drink? Don't drink anymore?
Don't smoke no more because you're not gonna get
Yeah. It's not acceptable behavior at their home. So no one has experienced that. Yes, no?
Yes.
Setting boundaries on my consumptions?
Yeah, people are setting boundaries for you. You're in someone's home and you had too much and they said, okay, that's enough.
That never happens.
No one tells you that's enough.
I always have a bottle in my.
I've had that.
I only had one girl ever tell me that's enough. That was belligerent. I was spilling drinks. I knew I had too much, but like, that was the only one person ever called me out. Because normally I watch myself.
I've had that.
So therefore, there's no boundary set when you're binging and whatever, and someone is saying, okay,
Time for you to come home and go to sleep, take a shower.
let them know where you are, they're looking for you.
Make sure you eat a favorite food.
Are we finished with our conversation? You want to share it with the public? No?
Setting and enforcing.
Come on, y'all, respect.
Y'all boys give for the same respect y'all
Setting
give.
and enforcing boundaries. So when people set boundaries for themselves, they have to enforce it. Just like if you have office hours, people are not, no, you can't talk right now. Come back later. They come back. So you're trying to enforce your boundaries, you set for yourself your limits. Boundaries are basically limits and rules you set for yourself and others. And you enforce it by saying no. You might not like it, but it happens. So you abide by it. Here, there's a lot of boundaries set. Do we always follow it? No. So we break the boundaries.
Setting and enforcing your boundaries. The first step is to set your boundary. The next step is to enforce it. Define and discuss what is acceptable before the communication efforts become stalled or potentially veer into verbal or emotional abuse. Use I statement to express your boundaries directly, honestly, and respectfully. Then be prepared to clearly state when you feel that the line is being crossed, and even to remove yourself from the situation if your boundaries aren't respected. Enforcing your boundaries may require enforcing consequences for behaviors that violate the boundaries.
Absolutely, like when people go on sanctions, you broke the boundaries, you broke the rules. You do not like the outcome, but that's it, they're enforcing the boundaries, they're enforcing the rules that are set for everyone. So who has broken rules, which are boundaries? Yeah, we all have.
No, we all did.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
No, we all have. Well, I have.
You said everybody haven't broken any boundaries. I didn't do anything.
Rules are meant to be broken.
I'm sorry.
She said people have broken rules since they've been here, and I haven't broken any rules.
Can't be in the bush, man.
I don't break boundaries.
I got one right.
Exactly, so I'm not accepting that.
Okay. So in your experience, you have never broken a boundary, set boundaries that are set, goals that are set, that's broken?
No.
No?
In the city to prove and guilty.
What happened?
You guys are taking this personal.
No, we're not taking it personal. She said it here. She didn't.
Okay, some people break the boundaries, I'm not calling anything specifically.
Are you talking about here or in the past?
Yeah, she said.
Here, in the past, in your lifetime.
That's why I'm not
Yeah,
taking
anytime.
anything personal. I'm just, I'm saying, I'm elaborating on what you're saying. You said in here, that's what I heard, in here. And I
In
said, I
here,
didn't break any
yes,
boundaries in
but
here.
When I
That's not
mention
taking it personal.
here, you come off defensive.
I
Where
didn't
I'm
take
not, where I'm not saying specifically to you. Okay? Or
I'm
to
speaking
anyone
in general, though,
specific
but at the end
in
of the day,
general.
I'm not coming off defensive. I'm just elaborating on what you said. I said, I didn't break any rules while I was here.
Right.
And a couple more people are shaking their head because they haven't broken any rules neither. That's what I'm saying. I'm not coming off defensive. You're not gonna make me feel like I'm being defensive about it, and I'm elaborating on what you're saying. That's all that is. It's not being defensive about what you're saying. I'm elaborating on what you said about
Once
the
you
boundary
took the I
situation.
statement, I never did.
Yeah, that's what I said. I never did it.
Yes, I said we all have broken rules.
No.
We have broken rules here. So it's not saying, yes, you broke this rule. We, in addiction, in anywhere, there are boundaries set. We all cross the line, we all cross the boundaries. So there's no specific rules that you broke that isn't broken. People have broken rules here. They're on sanctions, so therefore, they cross the line. Not specifically for anyone, but it's the reality.
Their rules suck.
Which rule?
All of them. I ain't gonna.
Just the no smoking.
You
out of the
allow
cigarette,
you allow me to go to work, but you say I can't stop at the school. You allow me to go to work every day, and you take my money, but you say I can't have no visitation to go on a furlough to see my family.
Yeah, it says furlough right now.
That has nothing to do with me. That's their boundaries.
But that's what I'm saying. See, now that's what I'm saying. He's saying
Boundaries
something.
are rules that are
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
But you know,
But
some
you-
of your personal.
Exactly.
I didn't take
You said what rules do we not like, and we just
We
told
don't
you.
have to like
And then you said you did not give us those rules. You did not say you gave us those rules.
right. So therefore, the rules that are set, the boundaries that are enforced by us, by the staff, and everyone else. So therefore, I am abiding by the boundaries that are set as well. So if we choose not to abide by the boundaries, there's nothing I can do, because you have to suffer the consequences, we all do. Okay, so boundaries is there for everyone, in every workplace, in every walk of life. So if we choose to abide by the boundaries, that's good. If we don't, that's on you. So therefore, That's all the question is.
Good morning.
So, what's that?
Not all of us.
Whoever's done that,
What's the phone?
you got one, Mike? Is it you?
I got one? Yes, sir.
Tell you, put your
Oh, shit.
Let's go.
Everybody got one?
Everybody good?
Hello.
You're not gonna get it back, I promise. Hey, make sure you give it back.
Everyone's fine?
An example, then try to show your event, the job graces. Triggering event is something you've lived following for a long time and are used to. So starting a new job.
You guys went over the whole thing?
Yeah, a little bit heated.
Why?
What post after?
Why were they heated?
Enforcing boundaries. Was heated? No, they're whatever not. Put the smoking and no smoking and those are boundaries. Those are rules.
What is this doing now?
They- Everything is good over there? Everything is good over there?
Only one I got is true.
You know, Barney? You want me to say you want to do? Where you going? You're gonna come and stop her. Really? I look like I'm gonna come and stop you. Just when I was talking to him, I distracted him, so I went to go check his bag because he had a phone. But he hid it. So he said, I just want to talk. He just distracted me. So I'm very comfortable. Asking me what you're doing if you do. There's a follow up back. That's all. He said, I don't need therapist. It's too hot for that. Yeah, well, I have mine. No, I'm not starting. Even therapy. No, it's too hot for that. No. You have a signed counselor? No, I said, well, you're not gonna get any of that. Because young like Juan, he's young. He's Juan. He got here 3 days ago, he said.
That's one I've been here for 4 days.
Or maybe 4 days today, I don't know.
What's the name that you wanna do? You wanna do his bio?
Yeah, but if it's taking too long, wait. Because after she does it, you gotta go back and check it. That's gonna take more time. Little one. I don't like her font.
I didn't sign it.
How long did you do it? Is it time for them to go over? This is a book that we have there. And if you take this quiz first, you go over the lesson, and you do a post test. So I just look how it looks. Yeah, God.
Oh, okay.
And this is how it looks to the book.
Oh, so therefore,
Just do one.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Everyone ready?
I'll stay here. What's your son to do? I don't remember the instructions.
Michelle,
Quiz.
I got questions, like, some of these questions need to depend, like, that's kind of. It's kind of hard, because it depends on, like, everybody's not the same, so for some people that might be different. It's supposed to be about you, I guess.
Yeah, you, it's about you. Because what triggers you might not triggers another person. So everybody is supposed to be aware of what triggers them.
But number eight is very true. Number 8 is very, very true.
Because when you guys talked about fight the words or whatever, it might trigger me. But, you know, I'm like,
Not as the trigger, but I guess when we live with one like that, so that's like, and I was brought up like that, like they oh, this way, like that's fighting.
so that's, you know, learning to change.
Your mindset. Yes, ma'am.
You okay? Exactly. Uh-huh. Size up by the hundreds. Uh-huh. All right, you want to go over the, who's pissed off? Who's pissed off at you?
Got a little bit misunderstood.
Oh, what was the misunderstanding with Ms. Charmaine?
She said something about the boundaries in the program. I said I ain't broke no boundaries in the program. Then she said she was talking about life in general. She said I took it offensive, but I was just elaborating on what she was saying about the boundaries in the program. Then somebody else said something, so she felt like it got out of hand, and we were taking something that she said out of context when she said what she said.
She said, how do you feel about the rules?
She didn't say, that's what she said.
I said the
She didn't
rules
say
are
most
boundaries.
People in here, she said people in here break boundaries. I haven't broken any boundaries. I was just collaborating what she said. Okay, but she just asked me a question, bro. She just told us something and she asked me a question about what happened. And I'm telling her what happened. I know I can talk. It's not an issue. She just said, like you said, it's a misunderstanding. She probably worded it the wrong way to where nobody understood what she said.
It was
She could have said
perceived individually.
It was perceived and was worded the wrong way, Ms. Rodriguez. Everybody has broke boundaries in here. What she said was everybody in here done broke boundaries in the program. That's what she said. And I said that I haven't broken boundaries. When she could have said, okay, some people in here broke boundaries. That's all the instance was, but it's the way she said it. You know what I'm saying? So I said something. Somebody else said something. It wasn't even no big thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause the second one she had asked, like, we like the rules in here, and then that's when people started elaborating. She's like, I didn't make the rules.
Yeah.
But we have to enforce them, their boundaries.
And she said she don't make the rules.
Okay, so, you know, always with respect, always address, and sometimes we do perceive things in a different manner, okay? You're right, sometimes it's the way that we say things, the way things are being expressed, that people taking it a little defensive, but with all good intention, it was just trying to roll over. I wasn't here, I had to go take care of something over there. I just threw her into covering the 10 minutes I was on the other side. But thank you, okay? Thank you for elaborating and just sharing with her exactly how you guys feel. And that's fine, that's fine. Okay, let's get to this, okay? And then if you have time, we can just have a few laughs. So number one, poor nutrition and inadequate exercise can create high-risk conditions for a post-acute withdrawal episode. What the hell is that?
That's what I was just gonna say.
All right. So poor nutrition. Is poor nutrition one of the things that happen to us when we are real deep into our alcoholism or our drug use?
Poor nutrition.
Yes.
And we're not eating nothing healthy.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting enough sleep, so we're killing our body. We're putting all the stress on our body.
Alcohol actually like kills some of the nutrition in your blood.
Yeah.
It drains.
It drains a lot, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to, just so everyone can properly answer the question, or accurately, I should say, can we define, because this question makes absolutely no sense.
To you?
No, just in general.
Okay, but who
Like,
who else
post-acute
thinks that the
withdrawal,
question is absurd?
Yeah.
Post-acute
Some
withdrawal
confusing.
is, well, I should say it's confusing. Post-acute withdrawal is a totally different thing outside. It's like having to do with your body acclimating back into like regularity. So it's not like it puts you at risk, or you can be put at risk. I don't feel like for
Okay.
You already at risk. Yeah, but so you can't be put at risk if you already.
Just so it don't become confusing, every question is on here, everybody gonna answer it according to what they perceive from. So if we're gonna answer the question, answer it individually, I ain't saying all the extra, that's confusing me. So what was the question again, what you was asking?
So,
No, I'm trying to see.
so I agreed that the question is very wordy word, okay? It's very, very kind of confusing, but if you look at it, it's really two questions in one. And it's not even a question because there's no question mark behind it. It's just, So poor nutrition and inadequate exercise creates high risk, not risk, high risk. So high risk means you're already at risk, but you're doing something that's wrong, poor nutrition, lack of exercise, you're gonna be at a higher risk. Okay? So that's one clarification. For a post-acute withdrawal episode.
First, we gotta know what the post-acute withdrawal episode is.
And that's a very wise question. When you guys get out of here and you go out and you start to get this urges and these feelings of, oh, maybe I should. And the thoughts come, right? Remember, the thoughts come, that's already the first step. So acute meaning little. Somebody here earlier said, well, I could take a little bit of this, a little bit. Somebody else said, nope, if I do it, I'm gonna do all the way. No boundary. Somebody over here said it. Well, I know if I do 2 and 2, I'm good. Acute meaning small. So before you go into you do the whole Shabazz, the whole night, what are the 2? What is the 1 drink? What is the 1 pill? What is the 1 bud you're gonna smoke? That's gonna get you now into the next stage. Now it all starts with the small. It starts acute. It starts really small. Then it's another day. It's a little bit more. So then before you know it, you're relapsed again. The question is saying, if you relapse a little bit or a lot, if you use a little bit or a lot, the fact that you're not using, the fact that you're poor nutrition and you're not exercising enough, does that bring you up to a higher risk?
Yes, I'm using more of the substance.
No. You used, or you used a little bit or you used a lot. It doesn't matter. It says acute, so you just started. You went back to relapse, okay? The question says is now that you are back in the relapse stage, if you continue, right? But if you have poor exercise and lack of nutrition, will that affect you or will that bring you to a higher risk?
I think it's true.
What do you think?
It's true. I said true.
It is true, because the fact that you went through a acute withdrawal, that means that you already used a little bit. So what it's saying is that now you headed up to where when someone said, well, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna just do it the next day, some more. So, yes, it does, excuse me, please. No, we're all discussing. It does bring you to a high risk, not a risk, a high risk. So you're absolutely right. The question is individual. It's for each and every one of you in here. It does not mean everybody's gonna have the same answer. That means everybody cheating. Right, Arvis?
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. What did you say it was before? Characteristics?
Yeah.
In the red. I don't know who the red is.
So you saying it could be true or false?
Of course it can. It's whatever your perception is.
I put false.
False?
I was
Okay.
told that post-acute withdrawal is like, so when I go to detox, I'm going through withdrawal. When I leave detox, I still can't sleep well after my withdrawal, so that's post-acute withdrawal symptoms. Like if we're on Suboxone for a year, let's say, where I am, and then I stop Suboxone, I'm gonna go through minor withdrawals, and I'm gonna go through a taper plan. And again, once I'm done tapering, post-acute withdrawal, from what I was told, is the small effects that you feel after you've gone through the major withdrawal. So the way I read the question is just, obviously, if I'm being lazy after I go through, if I get out of detox and I just lay around, don't eat, don't do shit, I'm gonna feel worse, you know? So, but that, I was just told that post-acute withdrawal is that's what it is. It's just like, I had acute pancreatitis when I was 19, but I got chronic pancreatitis from abusing further. So then it was from chronic, but it was acute, but it was just small.
Right, you're absolutely right. It's small, but then there are some people, remember, we all said it here, that there's some people who are gonna go through this acute withdrawal that they're going to use. They're gonna use a little bit, they use one time, and then they go back into relapse. Now, the question says, if you're in that stage at that point, and if you have poor nutrition or no exercise, does that bring you to a high risk?
Yes.
True.
It's your answer.
What if you don't have withdrawal?
Excuse me?
What if you don't have withdrawal?
Then you don't, this will not give you cross your head. This will worry about it. Excuse me, please. Do you want to share something with everybody? Okay. Okay, go ahead.
We all, okay, I can say we all.
Right.
I will always have a positive choice. That's me. Okay, but due to the nature of my addiction, I don't want to have the choice.
Okay.
I'm saying, so what about the people who don't have it? Who's not using it? Where you say, to say, anytime I'm saying you won't use,
But if you don't have withdrawals,
you know, I don't.
you stopped. That's it. Is that not? You don't have withdrawals. You don't have withdrawals. Not everybody has withdrawals.
I understand.
Some people stop and stop.
Like we were sharing this morning, you know, Josh and Ruby was sharing about the dreaming stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we were discussing that.
That's bad one last night.
Yeah. So it was like, so what's the whole do that?
For the
No.
wedding nightmares. So,
No, it wasn't a sweaty nightmare. I dreamed that. I don't want to talk about it all day, but it
Okay.
wasn't a using dream.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was, I had used it in a dream, but I ain't gonna go into details. It's just uncomfortable.
Okay. No problem.
No, it's okay.
That's fine.
I was explained that post-acute withdrawal episode, like when I detoxed off of opiates, the doctor told me, he said, in a year from now, your life may be going good and everything, you may wake up and just feel like you're going through a minor case of withdrawals. That's what he called it, pauses. And there would, so I guess, yeah, if you're not taking care of your body, and doing the right thing, you're obviously, if you have poor nutrition, everything affects your brain, your body, in general, then your mind's still gonna, take longer to come back around, because that's usually the last thing that comes back around is your mind.
So the fact that you stopped, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Don't everyone have some type of withdrawal symptoms from any drug or all drugs?
Not
Marijuana.
really. Some people don't.
There's no withdrawal from marijuana.
Some people not. But it's, that's what we said, we're very specific, and it's based on your experience, not everybody's going, that's why the test is really two-sided, it's actually four-sided. I crossed out the last portion because it's supposed to be, it was supposed to be more about you. It wasn't supposed to be whatever the book, because this is a module from a different book. I just use those questions to talk, to discuss. But it's whatever experience you have. It's different than everybody else's in here.
So the answer to number one wouldn't be true? It will be false or true?
It's whatever it is
Whatever
for
is for
you,
you.
yes. However it applies to you.
There's no right or wrong answer.
So, exactly, there's no right or wrong. So this question, let me piggyback what Bruce was saying. So once you have used, right, even though you stop, you will still have those moments where it will just fly by your mind
the music, the experiences, the dreams, the night sweats, it will come. And if somebody tells you, no, you will never, that's a lie, because honestly, they will come. How are you going to mentally be able to address that and manage it and say, well, I'm not doing this. Oh my God, I'm not going through that again. It's gonna be on you. Now, whether it's acute, meaning, okay, you stop, but then you have a good period and you didn't do anything, and all of a sudden, these dreams are coming back, these thoughts are coming back, you have the urges, what do you do then? If you use at that point, if you're not mentally ready not to use it, you pick up again, it's gonna put a higher risk. That's what the question says, high risk. Dude, everybody in here is at risk. We are at risk. COVID, we are at risk. We're in the streets, everybody's always at risk of something. But this is about you, right? So the question really says that you are already at risk, but if you do an acute relapse and you use again, whether it's a little bit or a lot, you're bringing yourself to a high risk. So, gentlemen, you said, does everybody have withdrawals? No. Does everybody have the urges, the thoughts, the sweats? No. Some people cold turkey, stop, and then that's it, never again. Some people stop for a good amount of years and then they come back all over again. Is that clear, the question?
Yes.
Everybody had their own answer. It's yours, your truth, you. The second one, an example of an internal trigger event is a job of crisis. Does everybody here know their own triggers?
Yeah.
Yes?
That's false.
False for you?
True.
Okay.
For me, it's false.
Okay. You want to tell us why?
Because, I mean, you at work, you shouldn't even be, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't even think about a drug at a job site or whatever. That's what me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's false.
Okay.
I put through because being, an event at a job crisis. So say, for instance, the boss comes to you and says, hey, we're just gonna ask you to go home today. And that could be a crisis right there because you don't know. Said come back tomorrow. You don't know what if you're gonna be laid off, if you're gonna be fired, whatever. So I just put true.
Okay.
I'm gonna agree with Dave. The crisis itself, the job crisis itself, it may be external because it's your job, but once it's directed at you, like, in his example, now it becomes internal because you're just studying it the whole entire time. Oh my God, how am I gonna pay my bills? What if he doesn't want? What if he's replacing me? What if I'm not good enough? And then all the stinking thoughts come back and you internalize it. So it could go either way.
I'd say that job crisis is a trigger, but it's an external trigger.
External, okay. Yes, sir. Defender?
It's false because I know some people drink off work, and I know some people that go to work and drink while they still work. So that's false.
Okay. Anybody this side?
Pretty much there with Bruce as well. I pretty much think the majority of the triggers are external because, when it comes to vision, hearing something, smelling something, touching something, it's usually something else that's out there to cause it. That job situation may be stressful, maybe, getting me anxious, maybe, God knows what. And that's a trigger for me, stress needs to be a trigger, right? That drink.
Yeah. It's funny that a lot of people get asked, what are your triggers? A lot of people will not say stress. And if you think about it, stress is a trigger. You start thinking, you dwell, you worry, you overthink stuff. You start talking to a lot of different people, and now you start getting different feedback, and that makes things sometimes worse. So, yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
Can that be both internal and external?
It could be it could be whatever your perception.
Yeah, because,
External factors?
sure. And you know you're triggered because the company internal, right?
Mhm.
Right? Do you act out?
Well, the external will affect your internal. Yes. Like, you know, I said the example of get up in the morning, I'm going to work, I'm gonna do this, and this today. Come here and it's something else.
That's external when you get here, but the thought process makes it internal.
That's correct.
That's how, like, if I'm on my way to the job and I'm listening to music or whatever, in the morning, I have no problems. Then when I get there, the boss is like, man, I need this. Oh, man, I better call my man up, give me some Tina, man, so I can put in the hours tonight, you know what I mean? And then, whatever, you gotta get out of here. Then you go home and then you start thinking about what you're gonna do, what you're gonna do. So I think it goes either way.
Guys.
I can honestly say I've never had to work a day in my life.
Oh my God.
Because I'm rich.
All right, Daniel.
You working right now, bro?
Yeah.
You the kitchen crew. Bro.
You the kitchen crew.
Yeah. Management.
There you go. You went from a co-worker to a manager.
He's a
High risk.
Right.
3, lack of people who support recovery can place you in a high risk of post-acute withdrawal. High risk.
True question.
True, man, for everybody in here. True. If you don't have the buffer, you're not grounded. If your foundation is weak, forget it. Yeah, and this is a proven fact, and we've seen it, and it's evidence-based, and it's experiences, and it's things that we've seen here, that we're like, whoa.
See, that's for 3, right?
Yeah.
That confuses me though, because isn't it talking about for high risk of withdrawal? So like lack of support, it just put me in a withdrawal?
Yeah. Post-acute
That's why
withdrawal.
I'm saying how, I put false personally, but like, if people want to support my recovery, I don't think out of nowhere it's gonna just make me have like a withdrawal a year later.
I think he wants to answer.
No, I was gonna say the same thing. I put false because to me, a lack of people support in your recovery doesn't put you at risk for withdrawal, puts you at risk for relapse. Like,
I
can't withdraw without relapse.
I said false.
Facts.
It's true, yeah.
I said false too.
It's just word.
Like he said,
Mhm.
you go, go took it, on my head. Upgrade me, you gonna get out of it.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Post-acute withdrawal syndrome is pretty much a mental thing, and the way that you get that is, your mind is attempting to recall the euphoric recall. So if you're around people constantly blah 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 blah, doing drugs, talking about it, if you're in that same thing that you've always been into, your mind, again, is not going to fully get to where it needs to be recovery-wise, and it's going to say, hey, fuck this, why don't, you remember this, and your body's going to maybe suffer a little bit because of it. That's what a post-acute withdrawal is. It's not withdrawal, oh my God, now I'm dope sick. No, because I want to use, no, that's not what it means, but that's what I think Bobby's assuming it means.
Well, no, it didn't say about like, if you're hanging out with people getting high.
Well, if you have a lot
It's
of
saying just lack of
system.
support. Yeah, it's saying lack of support. It doesn't mean that you're hanging out with people getting high. It just means like, say I isolate. I don't want to be around anybody. I don't want people supporting. I don't want to hang out with people getting high. I don't. Then what? Well, I mean, I isolate on my own even when I'm not high because I like to be.
How's that worked out for you?
Myself.
How's that worked out for you?
Certain times, yeah, it's working out fine.
You're sitting here at 21 years old?
Yeah, but that's not
And
the
you're
reason why I
fit
didn't
rehab?
isolate myself. So.
Okay, all right, I
You
got
can
it.
try to shoot shade at me, Bruce, but at least I'm not in my
Well, don't
40s
get
in here.
upset.
So if you want to throw shade.
How do you know you won't be, or you won't be dead in a year, bro? Come on,
I
man.
don't wish any evil upon people.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't wish any evil upon people. So
I'm losing
get
my
in your feelings.
At least I'm not up in your ass.
Oh, man.
Uncalled for, uncalled for.
I'll be in my kid's life. I have kids, I'll be in my kid's life.
Oh.
right.
You're lucky to have two.
Let me just.
This feeling, there's a lot of feelings today in this place. Y'all need to stop because that's nonsense. Always I need feelings, your feelings are not to be discussed in group because they will have people disrespect each other. Boundaries, see? Boundaries. Yes, sir. Excuse me, please.
I was gonna ask, but I'm just sitting for my own self.
Yes.
I isolate a lot. I'm saying, when I isolate, I have a tendency,
Okay.
no, I say, no, I'm gonna say, no, not tendency, it makes me.
Okay.
Because I'll be beating myself up. I don't want to take care of responsibility, like you said, like almost say stressing. And you stated, well, I have a big problem with it. If I do right, I have things to act out. Confusion. I'm not saying I'm gonna act out. Isolation is a big thing for me, like anger and isolation.
Okay.
Really big. And then that causes me to use the universal language. Effort.
Okay.
And John, and those are triggers that make people want to use it. Yeah, by myself.
Is it safe?
Pity pot. Okay. I thought it was pity pot.
It's always safe.
And then I become, then I pity pot myself. I'm saying, making excuses to want to use. I'm saying, and motivate me more. Okay, damn. Hey, somebody come out, hey, remember, and I accept that because I have no strength. I'm gonna do the best that I need to use to prevent abuse.
Yeah, I just want to say that, that's why confusion isn't good, because nobody likes to feel confused. So when you're confused, you get agitated. When you're agitated, you argue. So, that's why, there's such high tone, because we just started off with and then it caused agitation, and then people react negatively.
And honestly, we never want to hear or we never want people to tell us about ourselves. And perception always plays a key role when you are engaging with somebody else, especially when there's more people in the group. Because I can say one thing, okay? You can understand it the way I said it, or you will have a different perception. You will take it in a different content. No matter if I stood here and I held a flower and I said it, you're gonna still take it in a different context. So a lot of times we really do these things to say, make this about you. This is about you, your story, your experiences. But this is a very, very touchy topic. Why? Because it's about you. Nobody wants to be told about you.
And nobody wants to relapse or withdraw.
Exactly.
That's like an attack on all the work you put in.
Exactly. And this is why I always say I do not start off with addicts, patients, clients. I never do. And I always, kind of rehash no, I never want to see you guys in here again. It's just that encouragement. It has to start with encouragement. A lot of us have been beaten down with you never, you will never, there you go again, there you at it, do this, do that. You've heard that so much that, some of us already start to believe it. So here you come, and we not try to break that.
Everything sounds like it.
Everything, and even though you might say something nice, and you still hear in the back. Or you hear someone say something nice to you, and you be like, well, what do they want? Why is she being so nice? What is she trying to get at? Nothing. At least I'm not. Nothing. I don't want anything from you. It's just me trying to get the best out of you. Sometimes it's perceived, oh, she's so rough, she's so tough. No, it's me trying to say, I see something good in you. I see that you can do better than this. I think that you should try this because this will work out for you. Do it. Try it. That's all it is. Just good intentions. All of us here have good intentions. Okay. Is it safe to?
Go on. I like this man.
I was rolling.
Yes, sir.
We on number 4, right?
We're going to number 4 now.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be long.
That was 3, we just asked.
3.
No, we're going on 6 now.
Go ahead, go to 4. I asked you already.
We just did, we're gonna do 4 right now. We just did 3 right now.
Yeah, we're gonna do 4 now. Yeah. Triggering event is something you have lived with for a long time and are used to. Are used to.
True. If you've been using for so long, how would you know what triggers you, because you just been using for so long?
Okay.
That's not false.
Okay, yes, sir.
That's true.
I've lived with it for a long time, but I used to it, it's not a trigger.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know how to react.
To me, it's not.
Doesn't, yes. Doesn't this kind of sounds like, avoid pleasure?
Thanks.
Avoid pleasure, and sometimes we seek pain. This is backwards. Because we know that if we don't use, if you're outside, if you don't use, you're gonna be okay with your partner. Pleasure. Right? But if you decide to use, well, now you're
Affecting you.
now you're causing pain. That's how you gotta think about it. The book says, avoid pain, seek pleasure. This case is the other way around, because we by then will know that if I don't use, I'm gonna be okay, pleasure, everybody's happy. But if I use, I'm causing pain on someone. Why?
Well, those thoughts you were saying, man, you, that's bad, you're very heavy. I'm talking about me.
All right, you, yes,
Put your chair.
okay.
My spouse, female, she smokes good, we smoke together. We could go, it's pleasure, pleasure. Love, comfort, relax. She wants to move herself, it's us two. That means you don't sleep, I don't speak, I'm talking about me outside.
Right.
Friends, I don't smoke my friends. Because all of it, they consume it. They smoke up all the door, and they go to argue, they drink, I don't drink. They get drunk, or cussing and fight, they do it. Like Mama said, I do me, solo, by myself, or female, no dudes. When I get out, I'm told being comfortable. Same thing. I'm not going back like my old days. I'm going back some of my old girls. Not all of them, but some of them. But some of them not good. I was messed. But I'm going to stay a female.
Okay.
Somebody don't do no drugs, don't drink, don't pop no pills. I don't do that. I don't want those people to don't do nothing that I don't do. We get all good. That's me. I'm coming because you said some real problem stuff. When I talk because you said something tried me to talk.
Okay.
But I quote with I get along with everybody class. I told them whether they like me or not, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm still gonna be me,
Right.
regardless. Okay. I could went home Thursday. I just give me 2 hours. I can go home Thursday. I stayed till I was fishing my whole night there. He go drop the gun, try to go put me on fish. So I said, so, I know when I get out, I'm not gonna shit, y'all. I'll get in my car, I'm going back up the road. I'm not getting out Brown County 30. Cause Brown County been my whole life now.
Okay, but let's stay on this topic.
Yeah, but wait, I did what? I'm gonna sign up. When I go to time, you hike up like that. I did good on that.
Good. Very happy for you.
I have a
Thank you,
question.
Mel.
He said,
What's up, man?
if his spouse do what he do, then it's pleasant. But what happened when she's smoking all the roaches? Taking all
They don't meet you. They come with you sometimes. They might get down on them like that.
Okay.
Try to get his house to look. I think that's not bad. I'm gonna listen to you, huh?
Thank you, Arvin.
You say Broward County smoking a lot. It ain't Broward County.
Secret,
I know too many things down here. I'm not leaving. They get down pistol, get involved in try all that shit. I still I'm blown nobody about it. Don't know about what. I get down, you told me that. They gonna say something.
All right, let's just hop to the last one, okay?
Skip the rest of it.
I'm serious.
A trigger event for one person may not be for another. True.
Do you understand the last question?
True. A trigger event for one person may not be for another. Very true.
Very true. So, that just comes to say that whatever you said yes to, it does not necessarily mean it's right or wrong, nor the next person has to have the same answers as you. Individual. Does everybody have withdrawals?
No.
Is everybody's acute relapse withdrawals the same? No. Does it mean that because you've been clean for a year, you will never, ever have thoughts or dreams? No. If they are just some things that are in your mind, that no matter what you do, they will always be there. That is the reality of things. Now, what we're trying to teach you here is when those thoughts come right back, when those dreams come again, well, how do you manage that? Okay, what do you do? Please don't pick up a minute that you come, you have a thought. Please do not drink with the minute that it comes. Understand that you spend all this time here, and hopefully it's to learn how to, utilize skills that are going to prevent you from using preventative measures, preventative proneness, things that will help you to avoid the usage, the picking up. MRT is really good with this. Talks about yourself, how to manage your thoughts, how to manage your inner self. There are some times that you are unable to do anything. Somebody here said confusion, not being able to understand. Usually that is I'm not finished. Can you please have a seat? I am not saying that people here are just, freely and all. No, we still have a lot of work to do. And this is why when you're doing your discharge plan and we ask you, well, what is it that you're doing? Where are you going? We suggest clinically, from our standpoint, we suggest that you should. It's because we honestly feel that you may need some further resources to help you with whatever your journey is. Respectfully. Not saying you need more, you need less, well, you need this, no. It's just, well, based on what you're saying, or what are your needs, we suggest this is what you should do. That's all it is. Respectfully. Nobody here is downplaying no one, at least I'm not. Rules, regulations do need to be followed because that's just the place in which we're in. That was actually the same thing I was dealing with over there. Same thing. We're gonna do MRT now. Whoever wants to do MRT, then we'll tell them we come back at 1.
Thank you, Ms. Margaret. For your relapse.
Yeah. Why does it allow me to do it?
Wow.
I don't know.
You want this?
No, I do not.